Welcome. It is another edition of the Super Organizer Universe radio show here on AdrenalineRadio.com. It is Friday, August 14th, 2015. I am James Lott Jr., the Super Organizer. Did I say that already? I think I did. The Super Organizer. Welcome. Thanks for coming to whatever platform you are to listen to me this morning. It's going to be another all-tip show. Thank you, folks, for your comments and well wishes of the last couple of shows we did that were all tips. There will be some guests coming on later on this month, so stay tuned for that. But again, it's all me for the next hour. And always before I begin, I like to say good morning to the man that makes it all happen behind the booth, Brian.
Brian, hey, good morning.
Good morning. How are you today?
I'm good. Hey, I'm gonna bring in a little bit of behind the scenes on air.
Ooh, yeah, do it.
James has the coolest shirt on at the moment. Black Sabbath tank top.
Yep.
Oh, you cut it up, huh?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay. That's what I thought. Maybe I've never seen a Black Sabbath tank top.
No, I made one.
Yeah, it looks really good. I like it.
Thank you. We love some Black Sabbath.
And B, he has the coolest checkbook ever.
That's right.
I encourage him to post it on any social media if he hasn't, because this thing is crazy. It's nuts.
I think I will. I don't think I have. I don't write as many checks anymore, but I write a few. But I love that checkbook. It's a weapon too at the same time.
He brought it out, and it's just this clunk of metal.
Yeah, I love it.
And I'm like, I wonder what that's for. He probably has his glasses in there or something. And he's like, who did I make this check out to?
I can't remember where I got it from either. I mean, somewhere in the early years of kind of online, but I can't remember. I've had it for years, so I'm glad you like it. It makes writing checks a little easier sometimes because I have a cool little checkbook.
It makes you look intimidating, too, when you're writing a check.
I know, I'm writing a check to you now.
Yeah. Who do you want this made out to?
So we're beginning another show today. I'm so excited to be here, of course, as always. It's a dream realized. I'm trying to adjust this microphone a minute. Okay, here I am. And as I always do before I start the show, I always do a thanks and gratitude because I believe in giving thanks, and saying it out loud is a nice thing. Living in gratitude is always a great thing, so I'm doing both. And today, starting out with my longtime organizing clients. I've gotten some new clients within the last couple of years that are great, but I have a few that have been with me for, 4 or 5 years. And those are the ones that keep me, in business. And those are the ones who believed in me in the beginning and the early years. And it's always like me taking a leap of faith to begin a business. They took a leap of faith in believing in me and trusting that I would do a good job. And they continually give me work, or they continually, I can't say that 5 times fast, send work my direction, suggest me to people. Then on social media, of course, they help retweet stuff, share things. And it's just, I want to say thank you to them. I won't say their names because they're anonymous for the most part, because I do believe in confidentiality. But they know who they are. And they've just been a great group of people. A couple of them are businesses. A couple of them are people. I take care of them. They take care of me. They continue to be patient through all my changes in my career. There's been a few. And so they're just amazing. I just want to make sure I say thanks to them, because without them, literally, I would be nothing in this business. Joshua Silverstein, he is an amazing, amazing, great guy, a humble guy. If you don't know who he is, go to YouTube, type in his name. He is a very talented actor, beatboxer, spoken word. He does all kinds of things, and he is just really good. He had a great one-man show a few months ago. He is a local LA talent. We are working on some projects together, and I was just so honored that he happily agreed to work with me on a web series I'm putting together. And it's just, I'm so excited to work with him. He's just a great guy. He's for hire. He's out there. Joshua Silverstein, remember his name. It kind of sounded like Fame, didn't it? Remember my name? Yeah, exactly. Maker's Mark Whiskey. I want to thank them because they're delicious. It's so good. Sometimes after, I do 8,000 things, when you guys know me, I like to come home, pour a little glass, just a little glass, sip it, and it goes down smooth and warm. It's just great. It just calms you down a little bit. I can watch some TV or just kind of hang out or read, and it's just so good. It was introduced to me, the actual Maker's Mark brand, only a few years ago. I didn't know much about them, and it's just so good. So I just want to make sure maybe I can get them to sponsor my show. Wouldn't it be funny? Have a liquor company sponsor an organizing show? How that works. And lastly, but not least, last week I talked about music, and I wanted to give a shout out to 70s era Marvin Gaye. Oh my God! Because now in the '60s, well, though if you don't know, in the '60s, he was very suave. He was kind of like the Black Frank Sinatra. His music, he sang great duets with Tammy Terrell and Diana Ross and all these people. But in the '70s, he really pushed the envelope and really talked about things that were going on in the world: politics, the war, the ecology, relationships. I mean, I can go on. What's going on? Mercy, Mercy Me. I Want You. What am I going to do with that? I mean, just a million things he just put together that were just amazing, amazing works of art. I was actually playing him the last couple of days. So it's kind of been talking about organizing and cleaning. He's been really motivating me to just kind of take care of my own organization. But great voice, and he took control of his career. And sadly, his life was cut short. But I really love 70s Marvin Gaye. It's just amazing. So I live in gratitude for him too. And so those are my thanks and gratitude for today, for August 14th. I encourage everyone out there to have their own thanks and gratitude every day. And if there's somebody out there that does something nice for you, or you just appreciate them being around, say so. Say it to them. Tell them. I think they'll really appreciate that. So like I said, it's going to be an all-tip show. So we're going to start with something that was actually a very popular blog post for me last year. And it kind of is something that I do in my show every week when I have a guest on. It's taking negative words out of your sentences. Now, for you listeners who listened before, or if you're new and about to listen, if you go back and listen to my old programs, I ask each of my guests the same two questions. What words should we take out of our vocabulary? And what words should we put back into our vocabulary, or should say in our vocabulary? Yes, you have to go back and listen. There's some great responses. One day I'm probably going to piece together like all the responses so you can kind of hear them, because there's some really good stuff. But we're going to talk about the negative words. We're going to start with that one. Because it's easy to be negative and sometimes hard to be positive. And for me, as people know me, I'm a very positive person. I try my best to be positive. And I realized at some point in my life, to be positive, it starts in the brain, and sometimes it really does start with the words that you use and you choose to use. I'll give you an example. I used to always say, I hate change. I hate change. Oh my God, I hate change. How many of you have said that, of course? That was until my friend Tara, Miss Tara Fleming, who I've mentioned on the show before, she corrected me one day. And she said, and I quote, "Everything you do in your life makes change happen for you, and you are the better for it. So stop saying you hate change," unquote. Okay? I'm like, Tara, she just read me. She read me. And I was like, yes.
Oh, I'm going to serve as co-host today.
Oh, you're good. I'm sure. Say something. Yes.
I just got the idea. I'm sorry.
Oh, I love it. I love the idea.
I'm changing the format of the show.
Ooh, I love it. It's all about change.
It's all about change.
I like change.
Me too.
See, there you go. I like change. What do you think about that sentence, Brian?
I started snapping my fingers.
I know.
I do certain things for just James to try to crack him up.
And it works all the time.
Yeah. So I was snapping my fingers. So
Yes.
I will give the...
Yes, that's right. Because it's so true. She was like, she knew she was right. She's like, James, you always do stuff that makes change happen, and you always seem happier. So why are you saying you hate change? Makes no sense whatsoever. It's one of those things. I think it's habit too. It's habit. You say things for so long. You after a while, you don't even know you're really saying them. Makes no sense. So I stopped dead in my tracks. I was just like, okay. She was right. Because if I hated change, I wouldn't have done nothing. That's why I said done nothing. That's right. We continued to talk, and she pointed out that it was just language habits, which I was just saying, and that I had. And I've been used to saying the phrase for years, I hate change. And it got me thinking about other words that I use frequently that may be negative, that really don't apply anymore. And I shouldn't even say them anymore. So I've been working on my language the last couple of years. I love language. I love language. I love the English language. It's complicated. I love it. I love words. I'm a two-time, I'll make sure I toot my own horn, two-time spelling bee champion. Thank you very much. I have the trophies at home. And I love words. So let's see. There's one word I also do. I try not to say I hate or I can't. Sometimes I do say I hate. I admit it. It still comes up in my vocabulary. I try not to. What I've tried to do is to start taking out words and avoiding using words or phrases that undermine me. Because when you say it, sometimes you don't realize it does undermine you. I'm not that cute. Oh, I'm okay looking. I mean, we say stuff like that all the time. You're like, Well, somebody thinks you're cute out there. I mean, there's somebody for everybody. Or maybe you're just saying that, and maybe at one point you weren't that cute. But now you look way better. You took care of the teeth, or you got a new haircut, or you bought different clothes that fit. I mean, who knows what it is? But you may look better, but you're still saying that old thing. I'm not that cute. Or I don't look that good. Or I'm not just okay looking. You gotta stop saying, because you start kind of believing that. And I've had friends who actually have transformed, like lost 100 pounds, got abs, new noses, whatever, and they're still saying that. And you're like, come on, please. You're hot now. I mean, yeah, you're right. You weren't cute before, but you're hot. So stop saying that. So it's all about stopping those words that just naturally will come up in your vocabulary because you've been saying them for years. Also, another thing is self-deprecation. That's for some folks that it's a mechanism to hide behind. There's one thing to be self-deprecating. It's a fine line to be self-deprecating and kind of funny. You don't really mean it heavily, or we all have flaws or things that go on. Maybe one arm's longer than the other. I don't know. And so you kind of acknowledge it, and so you're kind of self-deprecating about it, but not too far. It's kind of like, yeah, my long arm, I can totally reach things, like things like that. And it's kind of funny. But when you do it too much, sometimes you find that you're just being negative. It's not funny. And if you say it all the time, it becomes your identity. And so you have to be really careful when it comes to self-deprecation. It really does. It's really a fine line, and you have to really be careful with that. I find that taking negative words or phrases out of my sentences, I do feel more positive. And I do. And so when I say something, and it's not about being conceited or having a huge ego, but if, like, for example, I'm a really good TV host. I do a good job. I have a good time. I have fun. That's positive. Instead of saying, I'm an okay TV host, I keep messing up every time on this one line. Instead of doing all that, just say, I'm a good TV host. I do the best I can and have a good time. Just like that. It's just positive. And you can apply this to organization too. My house is just so cluttered. I'm just an idiot. Take those words. Don't say you're an idiot. Don't say any of that stuff. I just can't believe that I can't just pull together. Stop saying all that. My house is a mess, yes, but I can fix this. It's more positive because you're saying that you can do something about it. Whether you do something about it at first or not is not the point. But just change the sentence, because maybe at some point you'll be like, yeah, I can do this, and then you do it. Yes, my room is a little cluttered. That closet needs to be cleaned out. That's a fact. So it's nothing negative. It's a fact. But then don't go further into it of like, and just all these clothes and oh my God, I'm such a loser for having. Don't say all that stuff. You're not. It just, things get out of hand. Things happen. Maybe you're really busy. It's fine. Just say, yeah, one of these days I'm gonna get in that closet and I'm gonna work it out. That's positive. Just something positive. Just seriously, just changing the words really will change your outlook and change your attitude. Because I always say it begins in the mind. Almost everything begins in the mind, right? Schooling, sex, everything. It all begins in the brain. And once you wire that or rewire that to something in a way that works, then you'll work. Let's look for that. Brian, do you have any negative words you use?
No, it's interesting. I don't ever say. I try not to. I guess I can't say I never.
See, there you go.
I'm already not even taking your lessons and applying them. I hardly use the word hate.
Yeah.
I try not to use it because it's really for me it's one of those words that are they're violent.
Yeah.
It's a violent. If someone tells me I hate something, I picture in my head that this is like that like jar of mayonnaise has hit them or something.
Sure.
When they go, I hate mayonnaise, and it's like, what did mayonnaise do to you? What happened? Should we sit down?
Well, also hate a lot of times they say is like basically love, just the kind of the extreme, like you've gotten hurt deeply, so you say you hate it. So it's all kind of related.
Hate is an automatic word. It's one of those automatic speaking words. That's what I look at it as. People automatically speak sometimes just to be heard,
right?
And because I do it too, I'm not sitting here. But I observe people, so I'll be like, oh, I want pizza, and someone will be like, oh, I hate pepperoni.
Yeah,
and I try not to. When I was in high school, I got into this punk band called Reagan Youth. Okay, they're from the '80s. They're a New York hardcore punk band, and they had a song. It was called "I Hate Hate."
Oh, how funny! I like that.
Yeah, and the whole song is just him, the lead singer Dave, speaking about how don't say hate. Like,
right.
Because in the end of the song, he says, I hate hate.
Right.
Because he's going like, I hate up and down, I hate all around. Like, because people are throwing around the
Right.
word hate. But then he's saying, but there's people who hate other people.
Right.
There's racist groups. That's hate.
Right. Right.
So stop using the word hate because it's destroying us.
Right.
It was incredible. I can't describe it. I mean, you
Yeah.
have to listen to the song, but that's what I took from it, where it's like, stop saying hate.
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that, because there's the whole thing about saying hate to an inanimate object. I hate. Oh, let's not go back to organizing. I hate that closet. How can you hate a closet? You can't hate a closet. You can dislike the size of the closet. You can wish for a larger closet. I mean, but you can't mean hating it. I mean, hating it. That's so much. It feels like so much energy when you say that I hate that closet.
That's how I feel when someone says hate. I feel there's a very violent. There's violence behind it.
Yeah,
it's very violent. So I try not to use the word hate. Sometimes it's a Freudian slip. It's just because I'm American. We automatically speak.
Right.
So I can't help it.
It takes years. I have a few years ahead of you, so I mean it takes some time.
I hate that I say it.
yeah. But bump. We need some sound effects.
I have them. If you just would have, hang on.
I know you said about that because
I should have set it up. It's too late to set it up now. I'm not that quick.
Yeah, that's fine. We didn't think about it until now. Maybe next time we'll work that out. I'm always trying to crack some kind of pun or joke.
But I don't want to drop a rim shot every time you.
Yeah, not every single time, but
every time you make a joke, because that'd be offensive to you.
Yes, it would. I love it. So yeah, so basically, I'm inviting all of you to think differently about what you say, just in general. And I say apply it to cluttered, uncluttered, decluttered, clutter. Just apply it to everything in your life. I think you'll be much happier. So when we come back, I have another segment. We're going to kind of continue the theme of that it begins with you, because I always say that. And so the next segment, we're going to talk about you and how you can begin it. This is Super Organizer Universe Radio, and we'll be right back.
Thanks for asking, but I'd rather not send you nude pictures. I'm camera shy. I already said no. Under my clothes, I'm a robot. My webcam is broken. I'm worried they'll get passed around school. I have a rash. I have nudophobia. I have lizard skin. I'm a vampire, so I don't show up in pictures anyways. Your badgering has really killed the mood.
When someone is pressuring you to do something you don't want to, how many ways can you say no before they get the message? Let us know at that'snotcool.com. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
It was a clear black night.
What's up? This Warren G, you know what I'm saying? I'm here giving it up for RAD because they do a lot of good things for people. Before you drink, make sure that you got somebody that can drive your butt home so you won't crash or get pulled over and get a DUI. So go ahead and follow the rules and everything will be cool. And don't be no fools. Peace, baby. Warren G.
A public service message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
Hey, I'm James Lott Jr., the Super Organizer. I host Super Organizer Universe Radio every Friday from 10 to 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Join me each week as I give you tips on how to organize your life, home life, work life, family. All needs organization, and I'm here to help. Every Friday from 10 to 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time here on Adrenaline Radio, Super Organizer Universe Radio. Organizing shouldn't be sour. It should be sweet.
You might know me, I'm 50 Cent. You may follow my tweets, my Facebook friends. Odds are fewer than 6 degrees separate us. We're that close. What's crazy is 1 in 6 don't know where their next meal is coming from. These are your co-workers, your neighbors, your friends. Hunger's too close for us to ignore. So visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank to see how you can make a difference. From one close friend to another, let's do this. I'm 50 Cent, and together we are Feeding America.
A message from Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Back. This is Super Organizer Universe Radio. I'm James Lott Jr., the Super Organizer, and we're talking tips today on the show. I love this kind of stuff. We're talking about you. You. This is one of the few times that I say you should be selfish. It's about me. You. Me, you, I. When you do organizing or anything in your life, it begins with you, of course. So talking about wording and talking about going forward with that. There's some phrases I'm going to invite you to say to yourself as you begin a project. I like to use it's not a word, just I. Just say I, the letter I. I think there are a few instances where I is good. There's one that I always make a joke. This is one of the few times that I is good, and there is an I in team. That's kind of a funny thing. When it comes to shifting your way of thinking to organize and live an organized life, I is the team. You are the team. I don't know about you, but I have voices in my head sometimes. They say all kinds of things. They'll say things to me sometimes like, you don't have enough time. You're too busy. That's too much. That's too big. That's too small. I mean, there's all kinds of things to say to me. We've talked about before how you could talk yourself out of stuff, which I guess is a very easy thing to do too. I had a long day today at work. I'm just going to I really should tackle that laundry that I washed 3 days ago and dried that's sitting on the chair that I can't even sit on. I'll get to it later. My legs hurt. I'm just going to lay down. I work really hard. I'm tired. I'm going to lay down. Meanwhile, that laundry's there for like 5 days. Because after a while, you're picking through the laundry to kind of get the clothes, right? So you talk yourself out of it. But you can also talk yourself into something. Because it's all you, nobody else. So I am going to invite you to say these phrases to yourself. So get ready. If you need a pen and paper, get it now. If not, you can find this and all my tips on my blog, thesuperorganizeruniverse.com, or on my Facebook page, /thesuperorganizer. So these are 5 things I invite you to say to yourself. 1, I know it's all up to me. 2, I know that I have to make decisions. 3, I know that it's all... Excuse me, let me try that one more time. 3, I know that it all begins with me. 4, I can change my mindset. And 5, which is very important. Well, it's all important, but this is really important. I can do this. So I'll say it one more time to you guys. I know that it's all up to me. I know that I have to make decisions. I know that it all begins with me. I can change my mindset. I can do this. I. Okay? So I give you permission to focus on yourself. It's all you can do it. I think when you start, again, changing phrases and wording, you say, I can do those, you say those 5 things, hopefully you start believing it. And do something about it. And as we talked about before on the show, make the commitment to get organized. So I is okay in this instance. I'm going to share that with you. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is still going on the same lines, is that I call this no man or woman is an island. Okay, sometimes you need assistance. So that's why I want to make that clear. And it's okay to have assistance. That's why there's organizers, right, out there. Alliances, collaborations, partnerships, friends, family. I'm a big fan about surrounding myself with people who are positive and kind of fit nicely into the various areas of my life. And who I can also be positive influence and presence in their lives too. It's a two-way street. I try to make sure that whatever I do professionally is with people, organizations that align with my principles or what I'm looking to do. Like here at AdrenalineRadio.com. It's a match made in heaven. But seriously, it's very much what they portray for their other shows and what their big overall meaning fit my brand. Just that simple. And it's been a good fit for 2 months. My friends and family. There are people in my life that I talk to on a regular basis because we both kind of feed each other. I mean, I don't talk all the time. I'm not talking about frequency or anything like that, but they're in my life because they bring positive stuff to me, and I bring positive stuff to them. And I think it's also important. Partnerships, same thing. I have a couple of partnerships where I hired them, and it really works. We really do align together. Nothing's perfect, of course, and not saying there are any little bumps in the road here and there, but overall, everything fits into what I need to have in my life, and hopefully for them too. Because also I know I can't do it alone. That's a good thing. We're in this world together. Hello, we're all connected, right? I always feel what I do, whether you know me or don't know me, will affect you in some way at some point, right? And vice versa. What I do affects my brother does affects my mom, what my mom does affects her husband. I mean, it all goes in a row. We're all in this together. There are people out there who can learn from me. There are people that I can learn from. I really do enjoy working with, and this is very important, like-minded individuals, and that also includes my clients. Again, going back to the committal part of this, I can't work with a client who hasn't committed to get organized. It's very simple. If they really can't commit to it and are open to the organization process, we can't work together. And so people have asked me, have you ever fired a client? Yes, I have. Not very many. Have you not taken a client? Yes, I have. Not taken a client. Because it won't work. I want to be the best I can for them, best use for them, and vice versa. I love being in a space where creativity is nurtured and appreciated. There's nothing like being I've been in some offices in my past, or jobs in my past, where everyone is negative. Oh my God, it's like they come in and it's like everywhere out of their mouths is something bad about the job.
Is it like Dilbert?
Exactly like Dilbert, exactly. Well, that's kind of funny, but yes, like that. In real life, it's not funny, and it's just they come in and they're always just upset. I mean, complain about everything, the pay, this. Okay, now sometimes some of the stuff they're saying is true, but you're choosing to work there, so kind of like I really don't want to hear it all the time. And the same with doing the organization process. You could be, if you're in a home where everyone, your roommates or family, are all just negative and aren't willing to do any of the work and just live the way you're living and just continually just don't do anything about it. That's hard for you if you're the one person who wants to get organized, or you're the one person who wants to get a system going. That can be really hard. So hopefully you can find people, whether it's roommate situations or friendships or whatever, that you can find that can, kind of be like-minded in that way with you. I try my best to protect the people I'm invested in and respect them. Very, very important. Friendships, partnerships, relationships, I'm a loyal person. Until you do me wrong, I'm going to be loyal to you. And that's kind of just how I live. So I try to protect that. I recently went to a couple of weddings actually, and I talked about that with them. They need to protect their relationship because now you're a team. And you need to protect it with each other and outside. You got to protect your individuality as well as your partnership. And I think that totally goes with organization also. And when you're in the process, you got to protect who you are, but also protect what you're doing together, whether it be with an organizer or another group or whatever. Loyalty is a great thing. Encouragement is even a greater thing. I try to encourage people in my life, and I'm trying to encourage all of you, to be the best that you can be. I kind of like being challenged in thought by someone who I know has my best interest. There are folks who always have opinions and say things. Sometimes it's self-serving. Sometimes they have an agenda. So I'm not counting those people. But folks who really, are looking out for you and going, that may not be the best use of your time. Have you thought about blank? You're like, oh. I mean, I know I have the ultimate decision because, again, it all begins with me, right? It's me, I. But sometimes people will bring things up to me and I'm like, oh, I never thought of it that way, or I like that way of thinking. And it's obviously changed my career, it's changed my life, my thought process. And I think the best part of it is I know that they care about me on some level and they care about my well-being. And that just is so warm and fuzzy, another word I can use for it. I love that. Misplaced pride doesn't work for me. It's not a bad thing to ask for help. You're not weak. You're not sorry. You're not a loser. It makes you look smart, actually. I had a boss who told me it's who you surround yourself, your support staff, that makes you look good. And so that goes in anything, right? When you are organizing, sometimes you need assistance. Find good people to assist you. And there's nothing wrong with that. Ask around. See if you're somebody you think would be really good. Ask them. So you have to be willing to do it. It's okay. You make it fun. You do it together. I observe successful people all the time. And for many of them, they do surround themselves with great folks. Not about all the glory and like, I want to be me, all about me. It's just kind of like, no, I still going to look good because I hired these people, or I surrounded myself with these folks, or I found these friends. I called these people into my life. That makes you look great. If anything, if you think about how you look, it just makes you look great, like a smart person. Because again, you want to work smarter, not harder. And so I feel like no man or woman is an island. I always say on the show that it takes a village to raise me, and I'm 46. I'm still being raised all the time. It's crazy, and I'm a man. I mean, I'm a man and all, but I like help sometimes, and I like when people are there and give suggestion and are there for me, and I love collaborations. I mean, I have so many different things going on with various peoples that I really enjoy. And in organization, when I'm organizing with my clients, it's a collaboration. We work together. I don't just work for you. I work with you. I think that's very important. So I just encourage all of you out there to just, know that you're not alone. You don't have to be alone. And it's okay to ask for help. And don't be embarrassed or any of that kind of stuff. Another thing I want to talk about, just continually going with this, is here's a tip. Here's an actual tip. Now that you're like committed, you're going to do this, you can do this, you got positive wording, you're ready. Now I invite you to do a little exercise. And I call this one A is for area. Grab a notebook, because I love writing stuff down, or a notepad, or you can do your phone if you want to, and do your notes in your phone, however you feel comfortable. I like writing stuff down, but people don't write anymore. What you're going to do is take that, whatever, that device, that tablet, that piece of paper, that pad, you're going to go around the house and write down all the problem areas in each room. So go into the living room. Start there. Here's another suggestion within that. Write down in all caps or put an asterisk next to the parts of the room that really bug you. For example, your living room. The couch is always a problem. So you write down couch. That's a problem area. Now, that's bad, but there's a corner by the front door that's always a mess. There's shoes there. There's stuff there. It bugs you more than life itself. Write that in all caps. Area by door. Or you can write it in just regular and put an asterisk or two next to it to indicate that area the most bugs you the most. So that's for things that really bug you. Or you can also use it in a kind of in a positive way too. The areas that the family or your friends or roommates have an impossible time to keep neat, or have a problem with that area. So, for example, like I said, piles of shoes could be mail cascading over the front table. It could be in the garage, So you can use it as a positive tool also. Just kind of say, this area it seems to be a problem. I'll put it in all caps or an asterisk to focus on that first. So do it in every room. So do it in the living room. So you have rooms that have nothing wrong. That's fine. That's good. It's not a contest or, how many things I have wrong in my house. It's just kind of going through each room and assessing, I don't want to say the damage, but assessing what's going on so you can edit it later. And you might learn something actually at the same time. When you go around the house, you go, wow, I didn't really think of that before. My kitchen really is a mess, or my pantry really is disorganized, or my bedroom really is, messy. Just kind of go through it. Just take it. I don't know how long it's going to take you. It may take 10, depending on the size of the house or what's going on. It may take you 15 minutes, it may take you an hour. But I always suggest you do that so you can kind of assess what's going on. So try that. See if that works for you. You can always send me tweets at the Super O on Twitter and Facebook, and on the page you can write and tell me what you think on that one. Because, again, I'm a very visual person, and I like to see what's going on, even if it's on paper, and I find that it helps me. Maybe it'll help you. Okay, so when we come back, here's one of my most controversial blog posts I ever did. It was very popular. I got so many comments on both sides of this issue, and it's one of my favorite blog posts actually that I did. And I thought I'm gonna bring this up because we're talking about getting stuff together. It's all about you and thought process and your brain, and this encompasses all of that. So you're gonna have to hang on and see what I'm talking about. Adrenaline. This is on Adrenaline Radio, Super Organized Universe Radio. We'll be right back.
Hey, neighbor, getting some sod put in?
Yeah, it's Marathon.
Yeah, that's what I got. But yours looks so much greener and thicker than mine. What's going on? I'm going to call the growers.
Southland Sod Farms, may I help you?
My Marathon sod doesn't look as good as my neighbor's.
Are you sure yours is Marathon?
That's what I asked for.
Let me do a computer search. We don't have a record of your delivery. You didn't get genuine Marathon sod.
What do you mean?
Sometimes unscrupulous contractors, retailers, and other sod farms lead you to think they're selling Marathon, but then substitute a lesser brand.
That really teased me off. How could I have known I got a cheap imitation?
Look for the bold, genuine Marathon label on the sod pallets when they're delivered.
Don't get cheated. Look for the genuine Marathon sod logo displayed by nurseries and landscape contractors in the yellow pages. Or call 1-800-4MARATHON for a free do-it-yourself video and authorized dealer list. That's 1-800-4, then Marathon. Or visit the website at www.sod.com.
Hi, I'm Edward James Olmos. I'm here to talk to you about RAD, Recording Artists, Actors, and Athletes Against Drunk Driving. Think about it. You have choices that you can make in your life. Good choices and bad ones. Drinking and driving, bad choice. Why? The life you may take may even be your own. Think about it. Drinking and driving doesn't mix. Get a designated driver.
A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
So, I'm a dog, and I just got adopted by this new human guy, and I'm starting to wonder how he got along without me. I mean, okay, something as simple as walking around the block. He's got this leash thing, and he puts me on one end and him on the other, and I'm just taking him around. I think he's afraid of getting lost. Without that leash and me guiding him along, I don't think he'd find his way back home. But it's kind of cute.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
Los Pollos, home of flavored down-to-the-bone chicken. As we say in Spanish, el sabor hasta el último huesito. At Los Pollos, we serve delicious Cuban/Mexican marinated chicken. We are cooking our chickens in rotisserie ovens to give you a well-seasoned, well-marinated, well-cooked, delicious chicken. We have 3 locations to serve you. In the city of Bell, we are located in 6201 Atlantic Avenue on the corner of Randolph and Atlantic. In the city of East LA, we are located on 5161 Pomona Boulevard on the corner of Atlantic and Pomona Boulevard. And in the city of Downey, we are located on 7940 East Florence Avenue on the corner of Paramount and Florence. Come to Los Pollos and experience the most delicious chicken that you'll ever have the pleasure of eating.
We are back. This is Super Organizer Universe Radio. I love this song. It's kind of bouncy.
Super Organizer Radio.
Super. I can make a song out of this. I love it. It's just like bouncing for this little Friday. Organizing, cleaning, editing. Already. I love it. I love it.
I can see people dancing on the dance floor.
I'm sure you guys are dancing to this, I'm sure, at home. And my seat just sunk, but that's fine. I'm okay. I can adjust my microphone. Hi, you're back to Super Organized Universe Radio. I know this song is good. Just bounce, nice little bouncy tune for the weekend. It's summer. Summer's ending soon. Oh, this is very California. I like California folks. I love it.
No, that's how it ends.
That's how it ends. Oh, I never heard it end it before. Oh, wow.
No. I try not to play bumps all the way through. They're royalty free, but still, I don't want people. Well, we talked over it, so if anyone's going to rip it.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I like it. So now we're going to talk about something that I find was very controversial when I first posted this blog a year ago. Almost, actually, a little over a year ago. I'm looking at it was like back in June of 2014. And it's something that I think almost a lot of us can relate to this. It's called But I'm a Collector. That's right. It's about collecting. Because in the world of organization, we come across people with collections. And it's something that actually is kind of serious because some people's collections overtake their homes and their space. So you have to decide which is the chicken or the egg, right? With the collection, the collection, the house, like what goes on. I mean, so let me start off. For example, I collect piggy banks. I love piggy banks all over the world. I love piggy banks, big, small, whatever. I also collect $2 bills. I have to, but actually my $2 bills are all in one piggy bank. So you'll know where I live, so you can't find them. So I found a place for them. But I do collect piggy banks, and so that means they take up space. I used to collect magazines. That was a big thing. Here's what's funny. So as I was super organizing myself a few years ago, I ran across 2 gigantic bins of soap opera digests and Rolling Stones.
I can't get rid of the Rolling Stones. I hate Kim Kardashian on the cover, but I can't throw it away because then I won't have March.
Wait.
And then it'll skip from February to April,
yes.
And that disgusts me.
Exactly, and that's what happens. But you know that they take up space.
My closet's full of Rolling Stones. This is so. I'm looking at self-deprecation, like you were saying.
Yes.
Earlier. I'm looking at myself going, I stare at my closet and I go, I have to get rid of this.
Yes, exactly.
But I can't.
It's kind of tough because some of the covers are really cool. I mean, some of them are iconic, right?
I have one that I put in a frame. It's the one with who I love. He was my favorite Beastie Boy member when MCA passed away.
Oh yeah.
When I cut it up because I bought a couple of the issues and I have that. But that's the only one that I guess sort of got rid of in a sense. But I got some with like people I hate. I hate U2. I mean, I hate U2. I dislike U2.
Right, not saying hate anymore. It doesn't work the word out.
I dislike U2, and
yes.
I still have their magazine right in my closet. I can't get rid of it.
I have a couple. I kept Tina Turner from the 80s with her legs. And there was one that it was Madonna, Courtney Love, and Tina Turner on the cover. I think it was like the 30th anniversary or 20th anniversary, and I just loved the pose they had the three of them together. And they were like the women of rock at that time. And it was just kind of... So I kept a few. My soap opera digests, I had them from 1987 all the way through to like 2009 or 10.
Is that a monthly magazine?
It's a weekly magazine.
Oh no!
And they're small. So I mean, I had 2 giant bins of this stuff. So I let them go. I had to recycle them. I just recycled them and let them go. My piggy banks are manageable at the moment. And this is where I get into this whole thing about collecting. Some people collect because they're true collectors. They do like certain things. Could be stamps, could be cards, whatever. Right? They have certain things, T-shirts. Because we had this talk before when I said roll, you go through your T-shirts. People didn't like that one either. But there's a problem when it takes over your home and your space. And there's also a psychological thing too. You always wonder, are you truly collecting because it's just something that really just truly makes you happy, or are you collecting to hide behind something? And that's something that I know Hoarders talks about the TV show, and they really talk about that because a lot of people will collect stuff, and it really does take over their home. So it comes to the point of, are you shopping because you're depressed, you're sad, and you want that immediate rush? Is there an addictive issue in there? So it's not really a true collection. It's almost like an obsession. There are some things, of course, if you're true to yourself, that it really is collecting. Like I said, I like piggy banks. I like them, I like the way they look. They represent money. I have money in all of them. I put money in all of them. But I know when I need to stop or slow down. I can always stop myself. So they're neatly in places where it's okay. Now, for some people, they may be cluttered to them. I mean, everybody's different. For me, I have them in a neat, like on some shelves, and they're really neat, and they're in a row, and they're kind of fun. But they're not taking over my space. I can still get in my house. I can still sit on the couch. I can still, put my computer on the desk. I can still sleep in my bed. Like, they're not taking. I'm not stepping on them. I'm not knocking them over. It's not to the point where I have to get rid of stuff to make room for them. Or in some cases, you don't get rid of stuff to make room for them, so you put them on top of stuff. It's crazy. And you have to, at some point, you have to really look at yourself and think, okay, what am I doing here? Because I do like collecting stuff. I like nostalgia. I know about sentimentality. I like I like things from the past. And I mean, I have some old electronics. I mean, I have my Discman, I have my Walkman, I have my boombox. I mean, there's things I've kept that I have. Now, why do I have them? I like the nostalgia, and actually, they all still work. They're not broken. They all still work. So if we have a gigantic earthquake or a weird tornado or something, I have stuff ready just in case.
Going to your house for the money, the piggy banks, and the...
That's right. You're like, where do you live again, James? There's no address. You can't find me nowhere. Nope, you can't find me.
123 Nope Street.
That's right. It is Nunya. I live in Nunya, California. Nunya Biz. Thank you. So they still work. They're not broken. They still work. And I only have a couple of them. I don't have like 10 Walkman and 10 Discman. But they have come in handy for things sometimes when power goes out. And it's good to have some of that stuff around the house. So I just invite you just to kind of look at your collections, whatever they are. Are they cluttering your house? Are they in the way? Are they things that you collected at one time in your life? Because there's also periods where you'll collect certain things at certain times in your life, and then you age out of it. Is it something you should give away, pass on to a niece or nephew, daughter, granddaughter, grandson, cousin? Because some of that stuff is great to pass on. Because again, it's nostalgia. Even though you have some Barbie dolls from the 50s, that you have so many of them. Maybe you should give some away. Give them to your granddaughter. Give them to your niece. They would love that stuff, right? Maybe some of your old T-shirts. I passed on some of my old T-shirts to my grandson. I did do that, and he loved them. He thought it was hilarious because now you can wear them, so it's kind of fun. You just pass them on, and it's a fun thing to do. But because you're always trying to look at your stuff, and you want to edit it as much as you can, so you can live a very productive life. I just think it's something you need to look at. And I know it's hard for people, to do that. Sometimes you can make money if that's an incentive for some people. There's Craigslist, eBay. There's something called Close 5, I think it is, that you can actually sell things and get out of your house, get some money. If your house is overrun by stuff, the point always is to get out of your house. I just don't want your collections to run you out of the house. That's all. I want to make sure that if you have certain things you like, if you like dragonflies, you like turtles, whatever it is, you have that. You have the stuff in the house, but it's just adding to your house. It's not taking away from your house to the point where you can't move. Just something for you to think about when it comes to your collections. So, because again, it all begins with you. We're going to talk about effective labeling. It's important when it comes to files. It's important when it comes to bins. I'm a huge fan of labeling. When I'm with clients and we're organizing and putting things in bins, boxes, etc., we're labeling them also. Because I want to be able to leave and they know where their stuff is. And you know what's in it. Right? Because you need to know what's in it. Correct? But there is like a simple art to labeling. And wrong labeling, just like wrong wording on files, will make you do more work. And once again, if you learn anything from the show, I want less work because I got other things to do than try to find, certain papers or beads or beans or whatever. I want to make sure it's all labeled so easily that you just find it. I mean, seriously, correct labeling will change your life for the better. So it's good for kids rooms, shelving, everything. Just label it. So I have 2 rules. I'm going to share them with you. 1, label exactly what's in there. Don't make it fancy. Don't try to use words, 50-cent words that are like 10, 15 syllables long. Make it simple that you know what's in there. If there is a set of cards, label it cards. Because if you're not going to remember it as party games or party favors, you'll be looking forever. Cards. Hi, I want some cards for this party. Oh, there's a bin for cards. Make sense? Electronic games. Same thing. You may have some electronic games. Label it electronic games. You can even go even further. These are the kids' electronic games. You label it kids' electronic games. Keep the labels short and sweet. Because you want to get the full picture before you even have to look in there. You may even forget what exactly the kind of games that are in there, what kind of cards are in there. That doesn't matter. You can still get to that bin, and you can open it. You know the cards are in there. Second thing is, label with words you most likely remember what's in there. Again, fancy words and language, that's all cutesy. Don't do it. Because a lot of times you'll forget. You're busy. You got kids. I don't think you have kids to run. You have kids to run. No. You have kids to raise, things to do. Just don't worry about that. Just use actual words. Like sometimes there's a difference between Kleenex and tissue. If you use Kleenex, label it Kleenex. If you use tissue, label it tissue. So when you're in just like it's 2 a.m. and you got to grab something, you know exactly. So without having to think about it and fully wake up, you can go, oh, that bin of tissue is right there. Or you tell somebody to find something for you. You can say, look for the box that says tissue. It's just easy. It's so simple. And it's one of those funny things that you think it's labels. It's about labels. Labeling really does affect a lot of stuff. So I say those two things. So again, the 2 tips were, oh my God, I just lost my page. I'm going to say this right. Label exactly what's in there, and label with words that you will most likely remember what's in there. Very important. And time. Yeah, I won't do that for you. Hate to shade a winner. I like doing things in time. I like doing things in short time periods sometimes because to me, whether you do it in 5, 10, 15 minutes, doesn't matter. You're doing something. I know some organizers are different, but I know in busy lives, I'm very realistic, and I believe that any organization is better than none. And in this one, I'm talking about in 30 minutes. 30 minutes. 30 minutes. 30 minutes is a short time. It's a long time, depending on how you look at it or what you're doing. I invite you all to set aside 30 minutes. Today. Why not? Today, 30 minutes. It's the length of a half-hour comedy. Just 30 minutes. Now, wherever you are, whether it's your job or at home, the office, wherever you are, garage, pick one thing to tackle and set aside to do it in 30 minutes. Doesn't matter what you choose. It could be decluttering a junk drawer in your kitchen. Maybe it's just clearing the floor off the bedroom closet, as long as you throw things on the floor. Maybe you need to pay attention to the kitchen table. There's papers like everywhere, or mail everywhere. Do it. Go through them. It may not even take 30 minutes. It may take exactly 30 minutes. It may even take a little longer than 30 minutes. And if you go past 30 minutes, that's up to you. But just setting aside that time, getting the habit of setting aside time, scheduling it in. People say it all the time. I do it myself. Schedule it in. It becomes part of you, and like everything else, you know that time is for you because you do schedule time to take a shower, right? You schedule time to go to the bathroom. You set aside time to go to the bathroom. You set aside time to eat. You set aside time to get dressed. And many times you set aside time and make time for certain TV programs. Because I know many people like me are waiting for Fear the Walking Dead on August 23rd. Yeah, I'm going to make sure I'll be watching that. That's an hour of my time. I'm already set aside that time for me. And it's just very important that I do that for me. So why not try that in organizing and editing? Actually, like I said in another post I've done, do it while you're watching TV. So Empire's back. Watch Empire, organize at the same time, do a junk drawer at the same time. But give yourself 30 minutes. Start out with that. It's 30 minutes. Get a timer. Use your phone. Whatever. Start at 7. Finish at 7:30. And see how that feels. Because, again, we're going to go back to the beginning of the program about changing your words and stuff. You're going to take out of your vocabulary, I don't have time. Get rid of that sentence. I don't have time. I don't have time. I don't have time. You have time. There are 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can find the time. I will not let you off on that one. You can find it. So we're going to eliminate that sentence from your vocabulary. That's gone. Gone. We don't even know what that means. It's dead. Time of death, August 14th, 2015 at 10:54 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's dead. So what are you going to do now? You're going to pick 30 minutes. Okay, so you can't do it today. That's fine. Do it tomorrow. Do it Sunday. This is an open-ended thing. It's not the end. You can pick any day, any time to do it. You can do it right now. Well, not right now. We'll wait till I'm finished with the show. And then afterwards, say, James is right. I'm going to do it now, 30 minutes. And like I said, it could be anything. Because again, anything is better than nothing. Right? Like for me, I set aside time to do my scheduling. I set aside time to actually clean my closet out. I set aside time to set my clothes out for the week sometimes. Because I do so many TV shows. So I like to set aside time and organize what I'm going to wear on each show. Because I don't want to wear the same outfit every show. I mean, it's kind of weird. I did that once, actually. I did 3 shows in a row, and I was like, well, I wore the same shirt on every single show. Even though there were 3 different audiences, but it's kind of like, what if somebody watches all 3 shows? So I set aside the time to have a wardrobe, put together. Something like that. So, but I invite 30 minutes. I found for 30 minutes, it's good. It's good for if you're trying to strengthen your stamina and try to get into a routine. Sometimes an hour is too much for people. Sometimes 15 minutes is too short for people. Because also you don't want to rush through it. You want to do a good job. Whatever it is you're choosing, you want to do a good job. You want to make sure it's right. And if you need assistance in getting started, you can always hire an organizer that's near you. Of course, there's organizers just about everywhere across this country. Just about everywhere. And some will travel, so you never know, right? So check them out. I encourage you. I have some great colleagues out there across the country. Some I've had on the program, some I know personally, that are there to assist you in this process and get you started. Because once again, I want all of us to live the best life that we can. And in many ways, I believe that's an organized life, an uncluttered life. Everything just runs smoother. Because, I mean, don't you want to enjoy life and do other things? I mean, I'd rather have it's kind of selfish for me. I have other things I want to do. I want to go to the movies. I want to go out to dinner and eat. I want to drink my Maker's Mark. I mean, there's things I want to do than having to sift through and organize. I want to get in order so I can do those other things. Spend time with the grandkids, visit your mother. I mean, whatever it is. Wouldn't you rather be doing that? So start small. It's okay. I believe in you. I know you can do it. I know I can do it. I know you can do it. You, I. Yes, you can do it. And if you need help, just tie everything back in. Get help. It's okay. Friends, family. But make sure someone who really, truly will support you and will support your process and who won't judge you during your process and who won't use negative words in the process. It's very important to find people who will align with what you need to get yourself together in terms of the organization process. So hopefully you guys learned some stuff today. Hope you enjoyed this episode of this All Tips and It's All About You episode, because usually it's all about me. So I like it when it's all about you, because you're important. You are important and you deserve to have the best life that's out there. And to me, like I say this every episode, an organized life to me is one of the best lives to have. Lives. I'm always working words sometimes. Lives. And I just know you can do it. And if you need more assistance, you can always go to my website, which I just did some updates last night, and I'm still working on it. And that's thesuperorganizer.com. I also have a blog, which has all of these tips and even more. I put out content every day, 5 days a week. And that's the superorganizeruniverse.com. Oh, it's our song. I love the song. Then, of course, I have a YouTube channel. And that has all of my other exploits on there. Of course, my other hosting gigs at AfterBuzzTV.com. And some radio programs I've been on. Also, some of my other radio shows. And that is the Super Organizer, James Lott Jr., all one sentence. You type that in, you'll find me. Of course, I'm on Twitter. And that is the Super O. That's on Twitter. I'm also on as Black Hope LA, and that's BLAKHOPELA, which has a bunch of other stuff on there too. And I do post things on both of those. Facebook, the Super Organizer, of course, which I post the radio shows on here, links to radio shows, some of the blog posts, and my friends in the business. Do that. I think it's everywhere you can find just about on all the interwebs. Thank you for joining me today and listening. I appreciate all of you, and I will see you and talk to you next week.